G'day viewers. In this segment I'll give you an overview of the topics that we're going to cover in the link layer. Okay, we're moving on. We've now done what we need to on the physical layer. We know how to send bits over a wire, and we're moving up. Through the link layer is our topic next. Our picture here has changed. This picture shows you the scope of the link layer. Now that we have a bit stream, the scope of the link layer is focused on how to send messages across one or more connected links. These messages are called frames at the link layer, and so you could also think of them as packets, although frames is the right word, but they're going to have a limited size, and they're going to build on the abilities of the physical layer. So we'll no longer be talking about signals, just bits. Here's a layering diagram. Let's just recall how layering fits in with this. The network layer shown at the top here is sending a packet down to the link layer. What happens at the link layer? You're meant to remember this, by the way. I'm going to draw it in, but I hope you remember this. The link layer will take the packet. That packet is a payload there, and then it will encapsulate it and add a header. Actually, as part of encapsulating it, often you add a header, but in some cases, particularly at the link layer, you may also add a trailer. That unit will then be passed down to the physical layer, where it will go across the wire, come up the other side. You'll have the same structure. And the packet in here, I'll just put H and T. The packet will be unwrapped and passed up. And because of that, we're virtually communicating messages from one link layer protocol instance to its peer protocol instance on the other side, via the services of the physical layer. This packet in here is going through unchanged. And here I've just cleaned it up a little bit so you can see the picture. You might also be wondering where all these different layers are implemented. So I'm going to draw a diagram that just shows you the typical implementation of layers. On a computer, you might have applications, programs which run at user level, supported by the operating system. And underneath the operating system is the hardware itself. The applications, here we are implemented typically at user level. They're just programs which run on computers. Within the operating system, we'll then typically have the transport and network layers, and we'll also have some of the link layer. The link layer typically straddles the operating system and hardware. Some of it's implemented in the operating system in the lower part of drivers. Often there's some hardware support for the link layer on a NIC, a network interface card, which is inserted in your machine. And then the physical layer, well, that's hardware at the bottom. Here's a slightly more cleaned up version of that picture, or close to that picture. It doesn't show the transport layer there because that's not involved in this particular picture. But don't worry about that. So in our exploration of the link layer, we're going to cover several topics. This week, we'll talk about framing, which involves how to delimit messages, the beginning and end of messages. And we'll also talk about error handling, how to detect and correct errors. Because of noise at the physical layer, they'll occur, and we want to be able to deal with them. Later on in the following week, we'll talk about yet more topics in the link layer as we work out how to retransmit and handle packet loss, how to deal with multiple people using the same channel as in 8211, and how to even build small networks by combining different links with switches.